Hello, everyone. This is Ross Carpri again with Keller Williams. I'm with a new office now. I am with the Vestavia branch of Keller Williams just recently in the last couple of weeks. Very excited about that. New office, new technology, new agents, new protocol. Everything's new. So I'm really looking forward to digging in and getting my share of the business to come over with me, and hopefully I can persuade you folks to give me a call and let's try to work out with you what your plans are for 2026. I know I've got Andy Galliano on the line with me as well. He's with Galliano Mortgage. We're going to go to Andy in just a few minutes to kind of get a pick from him on what's going on his side of the business. But the main thing that I want to say right now is 2026. Everybody's looking forward to a good new year. I know rates have, I wouldn't say they've actually dropped as low as people probably thought, but I do know rates are better than they have been. I know houses are selling. This new office I'm in, I was in a couple of meetings this past couple of weeks, and it's amazing how many people, how many agents have listings and sales since December. I mean, we've had, I don't know how many agents involved, but when they give you a report, we've got some agents that have sold over $1 million in January, and some of them in December of last year, over a million, 2 million in sales. So people are not moving, swaying away from moving. We just now have to pinpoint it and try to get people on board to let us help them make that transition. So, Andy, with 2026, what are you seeing on your side as far as rates go? And if you have any questions for me, that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm seeing right now is a good bit of excitement from prospective buyers, or homeowners who would like to refinance at some point in the not too distant future. So there's a lot of excitement being built up around that. Now, I saw the headlines just kind of drive me crazy, but they are what they are, and I know what the headlines are. They're attention grabbing so that you'll stop what you're doing and pay attention to the TV, or stop what you're doing on your computer and pay attention to that email that you got, or your phone, that alert that you got. So I know what it's all about. But the headline is that mortgage rates are the lowest that they've been in 3 years. And I'm not questioning that at all. I think if they're not the lowest, they're darn close to being the lowest that they've been in 3 years. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, and this is something I'm hearing a good bit. I want to ask you if you're hearing the same thing. I'm still hearing people say, I'm going to buy something in 2026 when the rates get a little bit lower. And people are still waiting for rates to come down even more than they've come down. Here we are, lowest rates in 3 years, and they're still wanting rates to be lower.
Right.
And this is what I'm going to say about it. In January of 2024, all the talking heads, all the experts said by the end of 2024, rates are going to be in the mid to low fives. Didn't happen. In January of 2025, all the talking heads were saying by the end of 2025, rates are going to be in the mid to low fives. It didn't happen. So, in fact, from 2024 to 2025, rates went up. And then they started gradually in 2025 coming down. Right now, we're about 1% lower in interest rate today than we were about a year ago. So that's a big deal. That's something that buyers should get excited about and get out into the market. And if they're interested in buying a home this year, go do it now, because the talking heads have been wrong for really all of 2024. And here's the thing. In 2025, rates went up, rates went down. about the last quarter of 2025, rates did come down. And so take advantage of it now, because all this talk on the news is doing is it's getting more people excited about selling their current home, getting more people excited about getting out of an apartment or a house that they rent and buying something. And what's going to happen is now, when those people jump into the market, if you're jumping in the market with them, it's going to be harder to get sellers to negotiate with you on price. It's going to be harder to get sellers to agree to concessions to pay closing cost, or to repair items after a home inspection is done that the buyer may want repaired.
Right.
So it's going to be harder to get those things done. So now is the time to be getting in. And I'd like to pick your brain on it. You touched on it just a minute ago, but I think it's worth talking about a little bit more. Number one, do you think that the market is that this is a good time to get into the market, period, just because of mortgage rates and what the market is doing with the seasonality and everything else? And do you think it's a good time, number two, to be getting in? Do you think people are ahead of the curve if they get in right now? Is probably the better way to ask that question, because you're more attuned to the real estate market much more than I am.
Well, I think so. I think that everyone needs to look at their situation. And by that, I mean, there's all types of buyers out there. There are some that are in an apartment, running out of room, couple of kids, 2-bedroom apartment, kids are on top of each other, everybody's stepping on each other. At that point, rates are what they are. I don't see a person waiting for the rates to drop, because no one knows if or when that's going to happen. I think we all assume that, that rates at one time were 3%. Well, they were, but the market was totally different than now.
Yeah.
And you got homes now, the appreciation value on homes now are going up more than probably have been in the past. I know people that have purchased a home, 4 years ago, and their house is probably worth, well, it depends on the price point, but their house is probably worth 45% more than what they paid for it. So I know that people say, well, I'm going to make good money on my home when I sell it, but I've got to turn right around and put it in another home. And that's true. But at the rate of inflation and the rate that property values are increasing, you will get your money back. There's no doubt. Yeah. And in the past, it used to be, you had to live in a home 8 to 10 years before you can get back what you put into it, your equity plus, your down payment plus a little bit of equity. But now that is not the case. I have seen people purchase a home for X amount of dollars and sell it 5 years later, 4 years later, and double their money. And they turn right around, buy another home within their budget and pay it off. I've seen that more happen recently than that's ever happened in the past that I can remember. Used to be you had to stay there 10 or 15 years for that to happen. Now it seems like it's happening in 5 or 6 years. So it's always a good time to buy a home. And in fact, if you're going to wait to see if rates drop, I think that's a big, big mistake, because I think the property value percentage to increase year to year is higher than what the rates are. In other words, you may wait for it to drop 1%. It's not going to drop less than that. More than that. It may drop 1%, maybe 0.5%. But the property value increase is going to rise way higher than that. Right. So you're always coming out to the good. You just have to do it. And I think that's where people get confused, because they're hung up on the news. They're hung up on the fact of rates going up, rates coming down. But what people don't realize too is a lot of the interest rates on homes, and you can tell us this and verify, is affected by the bond market. Not so
Right.
much the fact that they decide, hey, we're going to drop interest rates 0.5%, and people think, oh gosh, I get 0.5% more now. That's not the case.
Yeah.
And it takes it a while to come down. So why are you waiting? Is my question.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with that. And yes, you are correct about the bond market determining what interest rates are. And the Federal Reserve doesn't affect rates, but directly affect rates is the better way to say that. And what I'm hearing right now is that the chances of the Federal Reserve dropping rates at their next meeting currently are almost zero.
Right.
The chances of them dropping at the following meeting, if you think the Fed's driving mortgage rates and you're going to wait for rates to come down, well, now you're looking at another 12 weeks before the Fed meets again and might possibly drop rates one more time.
But if they don't,
possibly.
then
Right.
then you've waited three
Right.
sets of meetings and there's still nothing's happened. So
Yeah. Meanwhile, exactly what you said, home prices are going up, property taxes are going up, homeowners insurance is going up.
yeah,
So, it's not going to be any better now. And I've been saying this for years, or for the past couple of years, about pretty much everything. And it's not just buying a home. If there's a big purchase that somebody is thinking about making or wants to make, do it today, because it's not going to be cheaper in 5 years. It's not going to be cheaper in 10 years. If you wait 20 years, who knows if you'll still be here, but I'll guarantee you one thing, it won't be cheaper in 20 years either.
absolutely.
So do it now if you can do it. And that is the big key.
Right.
Number one, are you financially and mentally ready to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, can you financially buy? And, those are two big considerations. And what you said spot on, and just to kind of drive that point home, what you said about home price appreciation is spot on. So to drive that point home, I mentioned in January of 2025, or between January of 25 and December of 25, or even today, rates have dropped about 1%. Well, what does that mean in the real world? Well, on a $300,000 mortgage, that means your payment is about $250 a month cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So that's $3,000 in interest that you would save per year because the rates dropped 1%. Now, let's look at that $300,000 home in January of 2025. Today is not worth $300,000. It's gone up in price by 3%. So that's $9,000 more you're going to pay for that house, that $300,000 house that you want to buy, just to save yourself $3,000 a year in interest.
Right.
That doesn't math out to me.
Right.
If you told me, hey, I'm going to give you $3,000 to put in your checking account now, I'm out.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense. If I've got to give up 9,000 to make 3,000, that
Yeah, the math doesn't add up. And here's the thing too that I've seen. I've seen people pay a house, say $300,000 for a house 2 years ago. That house, depending on where you are, location, and subdivision, condition, a lot of these play a part to it. It's not just a number thing. So, I'm going to ask 400 for my house now because I paid 300 for it. If the condition warrants it, you take care of your home, you take care of your property, the neighborhood property value goes up, which most should, then you're probably looking at close to 400 for that same house that you paid 300 for 2 or 3 years ago.
right.
So you can't replace that you can't make that kind of return on anything in this world. I mean, bond market, people do it in the stock market, I'm sure, but you have to, put down quite a bit to do that. But the fact that you bought a house $300,000 2 years ago, and now if you've got, taken care of it and maybe did some updating or whatever, and that house is worth 380 or 400,000, you've done well.
Right.
And you would never be able to do that if you were renting an apartment.
Yeah.
You would be putting all that out in rent. And again, if you stay in a place 2 years, especially now with rent prices the way they are, I haven't seen any type of property for rent for less than $1,500 a month now.
Yeah.
So even at that, if you do that for 2 years, that's a lot of money.
It is
a lot of money. So it's always a good time to buy. You have the write-off from the purchase. You have the write-off from the taxes that you pay, the interest that you pay. There's just tons of advantages, as opposed to, I'm going to wait, see if the rates drop by 0.5% or 1%. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. And, it's conversations like this that people need to be having.
Absolutely.
And, if someone has questions about how does all this work, how does this math out, does it make sense, does it not make sense, they're welcome to call me and I'll walk them through it. Here's the thing that I told someone this morning. I had a prospect call me and want to make an appointment to have that pre-qualification telephone call.
Sure.
Just because they're thinking about selling their current home and buying a new one, and they wanted to know, what does that look like for them? And that is, I recommend everyone do that. That's thinking about getting into the market.
Sure.
And what I told them is this: you don't get pressure from me, because when the time is right for you, you'll be ready to go.
Right.
I'm not going to push you to try to make the time right today.
Right.
All I'm doing or saying in this video is, if you think the time is right for you, go do it now. Get in the market now, instead of coming up with some excuse. And really, that's all it is. It's just an excuse to put something off that might be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So make the phone call. Let's have a quick, easy 15-20 minute conversation. No pressure from me.
Mm-hmm.
And let's look at some numbers. Can you pay towards a mortgage payment what you're paying towards rent currently?
Right.
But in 30 years, so to speak, you might own where you live, instead of having paid for it 2 times over for someone else.
Sure.
And so now's the time to be having those conversations if you're ready. And I'm happy to help out in any way. Somebody can reach, if they want to move forward with that, they can call me at 205-979-4412. I'm at extension 1. And so what would you say, Ross, if when that person is ready, what did they need to do? Did they need to contact me first, contact you first? What's the process there?
Well, I think if they contact me first, I'm going to put them in touch with you. So if they call you directly, then hopefully they will think enough of me to give me a call, and I can guide them through it as well. You will be their first station to decide, is it worth it for me to do it? Can I do it? Do I have all my ducks in a row to make it happen? Yeah. And then at that point, they can get in touch with me, and we can work together to make sure we can find a place for them that's in their price range, in their area that they want to be in, with kids and school, etc. And then we can make it work together. So I think between the two, if they contact me, I'm going to put them in touch with you. If they contact you, then hopefully I'll hear from them as well, and we'll work together to make it happen. And if you need to call me, I'm at 205-601-0123. And again, I'm like Andy, there's no pressure involved. We just want to make sure that you're thinking along the lines that you should be, making sure that you can afford to purchase a new home, or making sure that you can make a move to better your lifestyle, etc. And if it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't work out for whatever reason, that's okay too. But our goal is to make sure that you're happy with the results and that you're happy with the plan that will be in place to make it happen.
Yeah. Perfect. All right.
All right. Well, Andy, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll have a good 2026.
I think it's going to be a great year to be in real estate and mortgages, and looking forward to helping out a lot of people this year, and I know you are too. So I appreciate your time and appreciate you having me on again today, and happy to help out in any way. You just let me know what I can do for you.
Thank you so much, man. Have a good day.
You too, Ross.